Part 27. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 261. Zhou Shennian heard that Jiaoningsun and He Yuanhui were coming, and asked people to take them to the office. Seeing them carrying boxes, Zhou Shennian asked, "Are you here to sell jade?" This time it's actually the jadeite that has already been opened. Jiaoningsun nodded and quickly opened the suitcase. "Uncle Zhou, look at these, how much can they be sold for?" Zhou Shennian walked over and took a look, and was shocked. 2/3 of the jadeite in the box looked like imperial green. He quickly checked everything and found out that he was right. Moreover, the shapes of these emeralds are a bit strange. Zhou Shennian didn't think much about it. After all, no matter what he thought, he couldn't imagine that anyone could use the magic of retrieving objects from the air to solve the stone. "You two, please wait a moment. I will have someone come over immediately to give you an estimate. Jiaoningsun, it's time to work." At the same time, Suo Xingxin was on her way back to school. At this time, she was sitting in the car, covering her heart, and said with a distressed face, "Just send me to the hospital. My heart is really uncomfortable. I really didn't pretend to be sick." Her heart was obviously feeling better when she was in the hotel just now, so why did her heartache start again as soon as she got in the car? She has always been in good health, so why did something go wrong today? Yes, it must be because of Jiaoningsun and her brother. They are her nemesis, she must find a way to make them disappear. The bodyguard sitting at the front looked really ugly when she saw her face, and there was cold sweat on her forehead, so she had no choice but to make a phone call to Suo Hongfeng. After all, Suo Xingxin had pretended to be ill countless times before and had too many criminal records. But they were afraid that she was really sick and delayed her recovery. Suo Hongfeng said, "Then send her to the hospital." "Yes." The bodyguard hung up the phone and said seriously, "Miss, sir, if you still pretend to be sick this time, he will be very disappointed in you." Suo Xingxin looked weak and said, "I know, I am really sick." Disappointed is disappointed. Anyway, the eldest brother said this more than once, and he said it to her countless times when he was a child. She will coax him well in a few days, and he will definitely love her as much as before. The driver immediately changed the route and drove to the hospital. Soon, the car stopped in the parking lot of a private hospital. Suo Xingxin covered her heart and was about to get out of the car when the pain in her chest suddenly disappeared. What's going on? Why does it suddenly stop hurting? If she goes up for a checkup later, if there is no problem, the elder brother will definitely think that she is pretending to be sick. Otherwise, she should just run away. Seeing Suo Xingxin's eyes rolling around, the bodyguard said helplessly, "Miss, I have notified the hospital and opened a green channel for you, and I am waiting for you to go up." She is indeed pretending to be ill. Suo Xingxin was unable to get off the tiger, so she had to continue to hold her chest while climbing up. There must be something wrong with her heart, otherwise it wouldn't hurt so much just now, and now it just doesn't hurt temporarily. Yes, it just doesn't hurt temporarily. In case she really gets sick, she can go home, so as not to have to share a dormitory with two people at school, which would give her a bad rest. After a while, Zhou Shennian got the quotation from the expert, "This batch of jadeite you have is very good, most of it is imperial green, and it is flawless. A small part is the best glass type, and there is a lot of green, so we can give you a price of 200 million. It's only 100 million more than last time, and Jiaoningsun is not disappointed. The imperial green this time is not as big as the one she came here the first time. Although the quantity is large, she is very satisfied if she can sell it for 200 million. Okay, just 200 million. On the way here, He Yuanhui had already heard the price estimate from his cousin, so he wasn't too shocked when he heard Zhou Shennian's estimate. If my cousin can earn 100 million, then she can definitely earn 200 to 300 million. Zhou Shennian, okay, I'll tell people to prepare the payment right now. Jiaoning, yeah. Jiaoning received a text message that the 200 million yuan had been received, and left the processing factory. Now that he Yuan Huai has money in his hands, it is better to invest it than to keep it in the bank. The last word is that money begets money. So they did not go back to Deguo village during the remaining time. Instead, they stayed in the villa in Tianling community, looking at real estate properties online, and planned to buy a few units when they had time. As for dealing with Suo Xingxin, it is too early now. Suo Xingxin is still a minor, so even if he makes a big mistake, he will not be punished too severely. She wanted to kill him with one blow. It's better to make money now. If you don't start buying a house, you will have to spend a lot of money to buy it after a while. He Yuan Huai has no objection at all. As my cousin is so powerful, she must know where the properties are worth investing. He is not greedy. It would be great if he could double the millions he has. Du Kunpeng hasn't been looking for them recently, probably because no good rough stones have arrived. At this time, the bodyguards who sent Suo Xingxin back were also reporting the situation to Suo Hongfeng. Sir, although the lady has been complaining about chest pain, there is nothing wrong with the examination results. Everything is normal. The doctor's original words are that she is as strong as a cow. Suo Hongfeng said, give the phone to Suo Xingxin. Yes. The bodyguard came to Suo Xingxin and handed over the phone. Miss, sir, I want you to answer the phone. Suo Xingxin already knew the result at this time. As soon as she took the phone, she explained anxiously, brother, I was really uncomfortable just now. I really wasn't pretending to be sick. It's just that when I got to the hospital, my heart stopped hurting. I really don't know what the reason is. That's enough, Suo Hongfeng scolded. My father and I pampered you too much before, so we let you do whatever you want and offend my guests. You can offend my guests today, and you can offend Suo's guests tomorrow, harming socks. From today on, you won't have a penny of pocket money. You are not allowed to go home without my and Dad's permission. Please stay in school. When I allow you to go home, you will not be allowed to go home. To go home. Suo Xingxin cried immediately, and just as she was about to speak, Suo Hongfeng hung up the phone. Wuo, why do you do this to her? She really didn't lie. Those two people today, what's wrong with what she did? Why does the elder brother blame her? Can't he see Jiaoningsun laughing at her? Could it be that eldest brother is fascinated by Jiaoningsun? Although Jiaoningsun is still young, I have to say that she is indeed prettier than her. If the eldest brother really fell in love with Jiaoningsun, wouldn't she really just be kicked out in the future? No, she would never let that happen. The bodyguard said, Miss, we will take you back to school. Suo Xingxin stood up, and when she walked to the toilet, she suddenly said, I want to go to the toilet, you guys wait here. The bodyguard had no choice but to listen to her. As soon as Suo Xingxin entered the bathroom, she closed the door and sent a WeChat message, how is your investigation of the person I asked you to investigate? End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 262. Give me some time, that person is difficult to investigate. You mean, you don't have any news at all? No. Why are you so stupid? I shouldn't believe you. Suo Xingxin hung up the phone angrily and left the bathroom. The man on the other side was helpless when he saw the phone was hung up. It happened so many years ago, so it's really hard to check. The time soon came to dinner time. Jiaoningsun called He Yuan Yang and asked him to come out to have dinner with them. At the same time, he also informed him that he had sold another 200 million jade. After eating, it was soon time for evening self-study. As soon as Xiaoningsun arrived in the classroom, the people who ordered anti-acne medicine from her came to her, gave them the medicine, and told them the precautions. You must remember what I just said. If you do exactly what I say, your skin will be as good as Yan Yuxiu's. The three of them nodded like they were pounding garlic, and carefully put away the medicine as if they had found a treasure. At 9:30, Xiaoningsun started a live broadcast after finishing her evening self-study. I am coming. I am actually in the top 100. The number of people is growing so fast. That is, anchors with real skills are of course very popular. Xiaoningsun, everyone, before today's fortune telling, I have a good thing to share with you. That is the talisman in my hand, which is a peace talisman, a lucky talisman, and a career talisman. I have been in need of these three talismans recently. People can buy it from the small yellow cart. The quantity is not large. There are only 10 pieces of each kind, each worth 3,000 yuan. If you need it, you can place an order. I don't sell talisman paper every day, so if you miss it today, I'm afraid you will have to wait. It's been a while. Also, these talismans are valid for half a month. After half a month, if you still want the talismans to protect you, you need to buy them again. Talisman paper? The anchor's ultimate goal was exposed, and he really started to bring goods. That is, the talisman papers are all scams, and each one costs 3,000 yuan. Why doesn't she go and grab it? If the anchor wants to bring goods, he should bring some daily necessities. Can such ethereal things as talismans really be sold? Since the anchor can tell fortunes, she must be able to draw talismans. Her fortune-telling skills are so good, and her talisman paper must also be very good. I happen to be going on a long trip recently, so I will buy a peace talisman. I am going on an adventure recently, and I always feel like something is going to happen, so I will buy one too. Hey, are you the host's supporter? Who is willing to buy 3,000 talisman sheets? Upstairs, do you think others are taking care of you when you don't have money? Our anchor is not like other live broadcast rooms, where 100 people are online, and 99 of them are trolls, just cheating one person. That is, you won't let us buy it, but we insist on buying it. At one time, many people placed orders. Soon, 30 talisman papers were snatched away. Xiaoningsun was very satisfied. Everyone, thank you for your support. Let's start the fortune telling now. The 20th fortune teller will be the first one. Originally, she wanted to say that the fortune telling quota today would be given priority to those who bought the talisman papers. Maybe her talisman papers would be more popular in the future. But after all, the talisman paper has not been shipped yet. If some evil-minded people take advantage of her lack of time to ship the goods and ask her to tell fortunes first and then return the goods, then she will lose her wife and her troops. So it's best to follow the old rules. Soon, some green people on top of their heads got the quota. Is this nickname because he is afraid that others will not know that he has been cuckolded? Xiaoningsun, there is some green on top of your head, congratulations. There is some green on the top of my head. Pay immediately and apply for a connection. Xiaoningsun saw some green hair on the top of his head. There is some green on the top of your head. I thought you were cheated on me, but I didn't expect that you dyed all your hair green. Haha, this is the first time I have seen someone dye their hair green directly. Do you really not care what others are thinking? He is probably a very cheerful person. Perhaps it is also possible that you are giving up on yourself? There is some green on the top of the head. I am doing fortune telling today just to ask if my wife is cheating on me. As for my hair, I also dyed it deliberately, just to see how my wife would react. Then what was your wife's reaction? There is some green on the top of my head. She said I have a pit in my head. Ha ha ha, if I were your wife, I would say the same thing. Yes, do normal people have green dye? There are still some, but others only die part of them, and this is the first time I have seen them fully died. Xiaoningsun counted her fingers and said, your wife didn't cheat on you. The top of her head was green and anxious. How is that possible? I get off work at 9 o'clock every day. She used to prepare meals and wait for me. But starting from last month, not only did she not cook, but she went out at 8:50 every night. Came back at 12 o'clock, and even took a shower before coming back. How can you believe that she didn't cheat? Xiaoningsun coughed lightly and said, do you really want me to say it? There is some green on the top of the head, you said. Since I dare to connect you, I am not afraid of exposing my privacy. Just let him see if this anchor is really capable. Xiaoningsun shook her head. These people probably thought that the people in her live broadcast room were stooges. Even if they saw her telling fortunes, they didn't believe in her ability and wanted to give it a try. Since you want to give it a try, you can't blame her if it passes. Xiaoningsun, okay, let me get it straight. There is some green on your head. You are prone to domestic violence. You have attacked your wife at least 10 times since you got married, right? There is something green on top of the head and I am so frightened. Can this anchor figure this out? Turns out he is a domestic violence man. It's true that people are not judged by their appearance. He is so handsome, but he is actually a domestic violence man. Disgusting domestic violence man, no wonder you were raped, you deserve it. That is, you don't cherish your wife. There are many people who don't have wives and are willing to help you support them. Anchor, please leave this domestic violence man alone. Being in the same live broadcast room with him makes me feel sick. There was some green on the top of her head and she quickly explained, although I sometimes have to do it, I do it very lightly and I never make anyone bleed. And every time I hit her, I would coax her, and every time I would either give her gold or a famous brand bag. As he said that, he showed the wound on his head. Look, this wound is still bloody. My wife punched me the day before yesterday. She was also very heavy-handed. At most, we were fighting each other, not domestic violence. We won't believe it unless you show your wife. That is, you must have hit the person hard before your wife hit him back. Yes, even if your wife hits you, how strong can she be as a woman? Can't you let her go? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 263. Chapter 263 Housework. Upstairs, what you said is wrong. If we really fight each other, it would be terrible for a woman to go crazy. There is one in my family. I weigh 140 pounds and she weighs 180 pounds. She usually gives me a pat shoulders. I feel like my shoulders are going to fall apart. You are also awesome upstairs. You don't even weigh 180 pounds, but you married a wife who weighs 180 pounds. Doesn't anyone say you are unworthy? There are many people who say we are not worthy, but who told me to love her? No matter what she looks like, I like her. I ate a mouthful of dog food for no apparent reason. Xiaoningsun, I said your wife didn't cheat, that means she didn't cheat. One of the reasons why she came back so late recently is that you have been hitting her too frequently recently, and she would rather stay outside than see you. The second reason is that she is learning Muay Thai outside. The class lasts until 11:40, and the person who teaches is her uncle. Even if she didn't say it, she would know it today. The head of his head was a little green and he was startled. She is learning Muay Thai outside. Xiaoningsun, yes. I guess his wife wants to fight back against him. Haha, Muay Thai, I heard that Muay Thai is one of the most ferocious fighting arts in the world. Yes, Muay Thai is very lethal and the training is also very cruel. Muay Thai is so hard, but his wife can train every day. It seems that the days when the head is green will not be easy. I am really looking forward to it. I want to see how far his wife has practiced. The green man on his head looked at the barrage and said disapprovingly, "It's just a woman. Women are inherently weaker than men. I don't believe it. She only practiced for a short period of time and she can beat me." Chiao Ningsun sneered, "You can try it." Some green on top of her head was about to speak when she suddenly heard a sound at the door. She turned around and saw her wife coming back. Some green yin-yang above the head said angrily, "Why did you come back so early today? Don't you have to get home at 12 o'clock every day?" Yu said coldly, "I forgot to take something, and I have to go out later." Seeing that Yu had taken something and was about to leave, she had some green eyes on her head and didn't bother to close the live broadcast room first. She stood up angrily and said, "You are my wife. When night time comes, just lie in bed obediently. I don't allow you to go out now see other men." Yu frowned and said, "I'm going, what? You still want to do something to me?" The head was a little green and he said with a sinister face, "I think you just need to be taught a lesson. It was you who forced me to do it." Muay Thai? He didn't believe it. Yu could really beat him. As soon as he finished speaking, the green guy on his head pulled Yu out of the camera lens of his mobile phone. Just after a while, some green spots on the top of the head flew into the camera lens of the mobile phone. Immediately afterwards, Yu kicked the green face above her head again. The green man above his head managed to keep from falling. Yu kicked him on the chin again, instantly knocking him against the wall. The green man on top of his head looked at Yu in horror. People in the live broadcast room saw Yu slowly walking over and snorted, "Don't think that because I am a woman, I am afraid of you men. I learned Muay Thai, and my uncle also said that I have a talent for learning. I just learned after a few dozen days, I can learn from others for several years. I regret not teaching me earlier. If you attack me again in the future, I will cut off your descendants and make you have no descendants." The green man on his head trembled and said, "Divorce, I want a divorce. I don't want to live with a tigress like you." Yu sneered and said, "Divorce? I wanted to leave you and refused to agree, but now you want to divorce? Yes, you can leave the house and your children and all your property will belong to me." "No," a green head said anxiously, "the child is also my child. I bought this home with my money. You can't divide it like this." Yu sneered and said, "You made money to buy it? You paid a down payment of 50,000 for this whole house, and the rest was purchased with my dowry. You still have the nerve to say that you made money to buy it? How shameless." There is a bit of green on the top of the head. Seeing Yu turn around, some green eyes on the top of his head calmed down, and he suddenly stretched out his hand to lock Yu's throat. Yu just kept paying attention to him out of the corner of her eye. When she saw him like this, she turned around and punched him in the stomach. "Ah!" Some green screamed at the top of his head. His stomach was really hurting, and he couldn't help but squat by the wall. Yu suddenly picked up the scissors on the table next to her and slowly brought them close to the top of her head. "Oh my God, she is so awesome. Pretty sister, beautiful and sassy. Sure enough, girls can protect themselves. Girls in the live broadcast room, all go learn martial arts. Sanda and Muay Thai are both acceptable, but forget about Taekwondo. Pretty sister, don't be like this, you are still live broadcasting, you will be sentenced. Anchor, please stop her quickly. She cannot commit a crime, otherwise she will benefit this and suffer for their children. Chiao Ning Suan, don't worry, nothing will happen. Someone will be here soon. As soon as it starts broadcasting, a lot of police officers will sneak into her live broadcast room, and some of them have already located the house with some green tops. The green man above his head shivered when he saw his wife really holding the scissors and staring at the roots of his descendants. You are breaking the law and will go to jail. You didn't take it seriously, it's just a few years. It's worth spending a few years to make you inhumane in the future. The top of his head was a little green and he wanted to run away, but his stomach was so painful that he had no strength to run away. Just when Yu was only 1 meter away from him, their doorbell rang. Yu frowned and said, "Good luck to you." After saying that, she put down the scissors and quickly opened the door. Sure enough, when I opened the door, 2 policemen were outside. A policeman knowingly asked, "Someone called the police? Nothing happened to your house, right?" The green top of my head also calmed down at this time. I quickly ran to the door and cried, "Uncle Policeman, my wife domestically abused me. Look at the injuries on my face. They were all beaten by my wife. She also wants to cut my hair lifeblood, you have to make the decision for me." You made a sound, "It's useless. You obviously wanted to hit me, but I beat you up. At most, we just beat each other." As she said that, she looked at the police with an apologetic look, "Uncle Police, please, we won't fight. It's normal for a couple to have conflicts. We will pay attention to it in the future." A policeman said, "Since it is a household matter, it is not easy for us to take care of it. Before you act impulsively, think about your parents and children and don't let them worry, otherwise someone will call the police later." Yu smiled and said, "Okay, Uncle Policeman." End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen. Chapter 264. Chapter 264 Life is in danger. After closing the door, Yu looked at her anxious husband, "Forget it, give your descendants a chance this time, and we will live well in the future. If you don't live well, I will beat you next time." After saying that, she turned around and wanted to go back to the room, but saw that her husband's mobile phone was still broadcasting live. She stepped forward and said, "So you are live broadcasting?" She immediately smiled when she saw the barrage below. "Sister is so cool, she is my idol. I want to learn from my sister." "Sister, we will always support you." Yu asked, "What does this live broadcast room do?" "Qiaoning Suan, I am a fortune teller. Your husband suspects you of cheating and asked me if you are really cheating." "Yu, I see, I've made everyone laugh today. I didn't cheat. I just practiced Muay Thai every day. That's it for today. Bye." People in the live broadcast room saw this and were a little curious about their next life. "Anchor, will they get divorced later?" "Qiaoning Suan, no, that man is very cowardly. He knows that he can't beat his wife, so he will be honest in the future. Every time he makes trouble, he will be dealt with by his wife. One of the reasons why her wife does not divorce is also for the sake of her children. After all, she has a big head on her head. Some green people really love their children, and they can't live without them. I can rest assured that. I am relieved too. I also want my daughter to learn martial arts so that she can protect herself in the future." "Me too." "Qiaoning Suan, okay, everyone, hurry up. The 24th fortune teller is the second quota today." Soon, the second spot was grabbed by Xiaohuahua. After paying the fee, Xiaohuahua applies for a connection. Qiaoning Suan connected her, and a woman wearing a mask appeared in the live broadcast room. "Qiaoning Suan, hello, little Huahua, what do you want to do?" Little Huahua didn't take off the mask and asked anxiously, "Can I not take off the mask?" "Qiaoning Suan, of course." Little Huahua breathed a sigh of relief, "Anchor, it's like this. I got married 5 years ago, divorced 3 years ago, and have a child. The child follows me. Recently, My ex-husband has been looking for me and wants me to remarry him. He also said that when the child is older, without his father around, the child's future personality will be affected. But I separated from my ex-husband because he liked gambling. Every time he played mahjong, he would lose 5 or 6,000. He said he had changed his mind, and his parents came to the door in person and begged me to remarry. But I'm worried that he lied to me. After all, my brother threatened him before we divorced. I'm afraid that this remarriage will make it less easy to get divorced in the future. Xiaoning Sun, I understand, show me the palm print on the palm of your right hand. Little Huahua did as she was told. Xiaoning Sun counted her fingers and said solemnly, you can't remarry, otherwise your life will be in danger. Little Huahua was startled. Anchor, have you calculated my future? Xiaoning Sun, yes, your ex-husband did not realize his mistake after divorcing you and still liked gambling. He also went on a blind date later. Although it went well at first, it was later discovered that he was gambling after, all separated from him. There was someone who was willing to marry him in the middle, because she was a rich woman with a fortune of tens of millions. She didn't care whether your ex-husband gambled or not. She felt that she could train him well after marriage. It's just that that person asked your ex-husband to give 300,000 yuan, but she just wants to test your ex-husband to see if he is sincere. But your ex-husband ridiculed her for wanting a bride price for her second marriage, which made her lose popularity. One of the reasons why he came to you to remarry is actually that he can't find a wife. Every day when he comes home, he is faced with a cold pot and a cold stove. He feels unhappy. He feels that if you have a child with him, he will definitely marry him for the sake of the child. Remarry. Xiao Huahua said with a complicated face, has he really not changed? I inspected him for 3 months, and he gave me 10,000 yuan every month for these 3 months, which really made me feel more relaxed. Xiaoning Sun, of course he hasn't changed. He even lost his job. Another reason why he is so anxious to remarry you is that he has lost his job and knows that you can make money, so he wants you to support him. The 10,000 yuan he gave you was just an online loan he took out online. Once you remarry him and get your marriage certificate, he will have a showdown with you and ask you to take out the money and repay the online loan. Little Huahua's ex-husband is too insidious. Yeah, it's a good thing that such a man is divorced. Fortunately, Xiao Huahua met the anchor, otherwise he would have been in dire straits again. That's right, little Huahua, don't get remarried. Some men are really destined to die alone. Actually, it's really comfortable to live alone. You don't have to deal with the man's relatives, and you just have to concentrate on taking care of the children. Little Huahua glanced at her son sleeping in the distance. Her face was extremely troubled. Seeing that she still wanted to remarry, Xiaoning Sun continued, to tell you the truth, after you remarry, the final result for you and your children will be that you and your children can't stand your husband's family, so you jump off the building and die. Little Huahua was startled. Is it so serious? Anchor will not lie. You'd better trust the anchor. The anchor has no grievances with you. If that man is really worthy of your trust, there is no need for her to stop you. Yes, anchors are very smart. If you are a die-hard fan, you should know about anchors. Xiaoning Sun suddenly found a piece of news on the internet and sent a private message to Xiao Huahua. Xia Huahua clicked on the link, which was a video of a person wearing a mask abusing a cat. In the video, the man put a little milk cat into the cat carrier, then took his large thermos cup and poured boiling water on the cat. The little kitten was about 2 months old. It was watered for more than 10 seconds and then stopped moving. When the man saw that the cat was dead, he laughed a few times, took out the kitten and threw it into the lake nearby. He continued to look around with the cat trap, as if looking for the next target. Xiaoning Sun, have you seen the private message I sent? He can hurt such a small kitten, which shows that he is evil in his heart, mentally abnormal, and psychologically twisted. If he can treat a cat like this, sooner or later he will be so cruel. Earth to people. The people in the live broadcast room understand Xiaoningsun's rules and immediately go to her homepage to check it out. After watching it, the live broadcast room exploded. This man is too hateful. Could this be Xiao Huahua's ex-husband? Little Huahua, it's indeed him. He is too cruel. Little Huahua, you must listen to the anchor and don't get remarried. Yes, he is really bad, and he will attack you sooner or later. Get away from him quickly. Yes, if the child lives with him every day, it will also affect the child's character. In order to not have a son who is a murderer in the future, you really should not remarry. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 265. Little Huahua nodded, I understand. Not only will I not remarry, I will also stay away from this city. It just so happens that the company sends me abroad for several years. I will take my children and my parents with me. Your decision will not be wrong. Seeing Xiao Huahua cut off the connection, Xiaoningsun said again, everyone, there is still a quota. The first one to type the words anchor is so awesome will be counted as the quota. Now start. Some people who were just watching the fun started to complain. The anchor is starting to become narcissistic. I didn't expect you to be such an anchor. The anchor is still a child, and it is normal to have some vanity. Makes sense. Mutangzia, the anchor is so awesome. Xiaoningsun, congratulations to Peony Shrimp. Peony Shrimp quickly paid and applied for a connection. Soon, a young woman appeared in the live broadcast room. Xiaoningsun, Peony Shrimp, what do you want to do? Peony Shrimp, anchor, I found a job, but the company said that my job is in Africa, and they will send me to work in Africa. I will be there for 5 years, and I will not be able to return home for 5 years. But I heard that there are many incurable diseases, and there are even chaos. There are still wars in some areas, and life is in danger at any time, so I want to ask, if I really go through it, can I come back safely in 5 years? A girl goes to work in Africa? Just don't go. Yeah, there are plenty of jobs in the country, why bother going to such a far away place to suffer? That's right, I don't want any man to go there. Peony Xia, you'd better not go there. Xiaoningsun, everyone has already given the answer. I advise you not to go there. If you go, you will definitely die within a year. Peony Shrimp was startled, anchor, are you telling the truth? Then how will I die? Xiaoningsun, you will die of illness. As for which organ has the problem, you can only go for a physical examination yourself. Mutangzia, but I have already had a physical examination, and it was at a hospital designated by the company. Xiaoningsun, you'd better go to a better public tertiary hospital for a physical examination. You will die because the medical conditions there are not good and there is no time to save you. If you were in China, it would be easy to save you. Peony Shrimp was also very worried, so she quickly closed the live broadcast and went to discuss it with her parents. Xiaoningsun, today's fortune-telling quota has ended. That's it? Goodbye everyone. Goodbye, anchor. Early the next morning, everyone Suo Hongfeng asked to investigate had news. The assistant said, Sir, those people you asked us to investigate do have problems, and if any one person's problem is exposed, it will cause an uproar. Then your drama will not be broadcast. Thanks to everyone's hard work it will all be in vain. Suo Hongfeng looked at the information carefully and handed it to his assistant, let's publicize everything they have done. The assistant nodded, yes, sir. However, I am curious, how do you know they have a problem? At first he thought that his husband just wanted to investigate the temperament of the partner so that he could cooperate with him in the future. But I didn't expect that the list Mr. gave me was all problematic, and it was a big problem. Suo Hongfeng thought of Jiaoningsun and smiled. A very capable kid told me the assistant didn't ask any more questions. A capable kid, apart from his own sister, the only person the husband has met recently is Jiaoningsun. Monday, whole school meeting. I thought today's conference would be the same as usual, but as the principal was talking, he started talking about Jiaoningsun's rescue of math teacher Li Zhilin. Unsurprisingly, Jiaoningsun won a certificate and even a school scholarship, and became famous throughout the school. As for Li Zhilin, he will have to rest for a while before returning to school. At noon, Jiaoningsun called the 3 people she recruited. She used her nap time to drive 3 cars back with the 3 of them. There happened to be a parking space in front of Jiao's fresh food, so she asked the 3 of them to park their cars temporarily in front of the store. Huang Daniu saw Jiaoningsun coming over and was still instructing the 3 of them to stop the car. She asked curiously, "Shulan, these 3 cars are?" Jiao Shulan said with a smile, "Ningsun is filial and knows that it is too hard for us to take the bus to and from the city every day, so she bought us a car and hired a driver for us. You saw that commercial car, it was bought by her. She said that we will have a special car to pick us up every day, which can save a lot of time." Huang Daniu glanced at Zheng Hang and Qiu Yu in surprise. "This Ningsun is so good, doesn't it cost a lot of money?" Zheng Hang said, "We are just ordinary people, we just take the bus here every day." Qiu Yu said, "Yes, that car looks very expensive at first glance. It's a waste of money for us to ride in it." Jiao Shulan smiled and said, "It's okay," Ningsun said, "this is also so that everyone can work better, save energy and improve work efficiency outside of work." Jiao Ningsun also came over with someone at this time and introduced them to both parties. After finishing speaking, she looked at Zhang Fuxian, Ren Quanshan, and Zhang Zayadai and said, "I will go back to school later, so I will keep the story short. You will stay at Joe's Fresh this afternoon temporarily, and help out when you are busy. In the afternoon, when my mother and all the aunties are closing the shop, Zhang Fuxian and Ren Quanshan, you guys will drive back to Daguo village in commercial vehicles and Mercedes-Benz cars respectively. As for Zhang Zayadai, I will come over and give you the key to drive the car into my home in Tianling community. Your job is very simple, it's the same as I said before, which is to drive my family to pick them up when they want to go out. Ren Quanshan, you are temporarily responsible for driving the commercial vehicle. It may be a little harder. After all, I have to send my mother and employees to work early every morning. I will pay you more every month depending on the situation. I told you before that you have 2 days of rest every week. The 3 of you can discuss the rest time and ensure that at least 2 people are on duty every day. But if I come to you with something during your break, if you are willing, I can give you 3 times your salary." The 3 of them nodded, "We understand." Jiao Ningsun said a few more words, signed a formal contract with them, and returned to school. 4 days later, Jiao Ningsun continued the live broadcast at night. As soon as the broadcast started, the barrage in the live broadcast room was more lively than ever. "Anchor, you are my god. Anchor, your talismans are so powerful. When I went to explore the forest, I encountered a ferocious beast. It originally pushed me to the ground, but its feet touched the peace talisman I hung on my chest. The peace talisman, there is your talisman inside. It ran away immediately and saved a small life." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 266. Yesterday, I was walking on the road and saw the traffic light turn green. Just as I was about to walk over, my peace charm suddenly fell to the ground, so I went back to pick it up. Guess what? Fortunately, I went back to pick it up. As soon as I picked up the peace charm, the person in front of me was hit by a car that ran a red light and flew away. I was still very guilty at first, but when I heard that the person who was knocked away was a wanted criminal, I felt relieved. I actually indirectly eliminated harm for the people. I was also saved by the peace talisman. On my way home today, I was really unlucky. I met a man who was attacking with a knife on the road. I didn't react for a moment and was stabbed by him. As a result, he just hit the peace talisman. My clothes were torn, but the peace talisman was not broken at all, so I was fine. The lucky charm I bought, I have been very unlucky before, but since wearing the lucky charm, my luck has become much better. I had never won a lottery ticket before, but I actually won this time. Although it was only 10,000 yuan, it also solved my urgent need. I don't have to borrow money based on people's faces. That lucky charm is really effective. I confessed my love to the girl I liked before, but she never agreed. I took my lucky charm out today and it actually worked. I gave the lucky charm to my parents. Today, a big customer came to their wholesale department. Today's turnover is unprecedentedly high. The career talisman I bought is really effective. Originally, I was just one of the candidate supervisors, but today I took the career talisman to the company and was directly declared as the supervisor. I also bought the career charm. I had been looking for a job for 3 months but could not find it. Unexpectedly, I found a job today as soon as it arrived yesterday. It is a satisfactory job and I have already worked for a day. What I bought was also a business charm. I started my own factory and started my own business. My sock factory had been in operation for 2 months and only sold 1,000 pairs in total. Since I wore my career charm, several customers came today. They said that my socks are of good quality, don't pill, and have good looking styles. They actually wanted to cooperate with me for a long time. I sold 5,000 pairs today, which is more than I have since I opened the factory. Sales are high on all days. Are what you say true? Why do I feel like you guys are asking for help? That's right, there is no one who is so spiritual. I have gone to the mountain temples to ask for help, but none of them are so spiritual. I also think it is a lie, their words are really too false. The anti-fans are here again. I don't need to explain to you what the anchor is capable of. Yes, anyone with a brain knows whether the anchor is really capable. If the anchor starts selling talisman paper again today, I would buy it and give it a try. I will know if it is true after trying it. That is, those who say that the anchor sells fake goods without buying it, be careful that the anchor will sue you for slander. Xiaoning Sun, yes, if my talisman paper is effective, those who don't believe it will know after buying it and trying it. There are only 15 pieces of the 3 types of talisman paper today. If you want to buy it, hurry up and buy it. People in the live broadcast room saw the talisman paper being put on the shelves, and they were all sold out in a second. Those who didn't buy it immediately cried like ghosts and howled like wolves. Ah, there are too few, the anchor should put it on the shelves again. Yes, you can't get it at all. Anchor, there are already millions of people in your live broadcast room, and you only put 15 pictures on it. Are you making fun of us? That's right, host, please put up a few more pictures. Didn't there be 30 pictures last time? Xiaoning Sun, everyone, drawing talisman paper is indeed very laborious. I have a lot of things recently and am a little tired. Please bear with me and try your best to get it next time. Today we will continue to tell fortunes, and the 8th deduction will be for all parents. People who are destined to be 100 years old can obtain fortune-telling qualifications. The attention of fans in the live broadcast room was quickly diverted. Xiaoning Sun looked at it for a while and said, "Congratulations to Green Paddy Field." Everyone in the live broadcast room now knows the rules. After Lushuishan cleared the carnival, he quickly connected to the connection. A woman in her 20s appeared in the live broadcast room. Chiaoning Suan, Green Paddy Field, what do you want to do? Green Shui Tian, Anchor, I am now a senior in college. My original career plan was to prepare for graduate school and then work hard to get into a Fortune 500 company. If I can't get in, I will become a teacher. But my boyfriend doesn't agree with me doing this. He said that with him here, I won't have to worry about money in the future and won't have to work so hard. He is indeed the second generation of rich people. His family has a factory with an annual income of tens of millions. He said that he is going to study abroad next year, and he asked me to go abroad with him and take care of his food and daily life every day. After he finishes his studies, we will return to China together. He said that if I want to work then, I will be at his house. They will directly arrange a position for me in their factory, and they won't let me suffer. After my parents heard about it, they asked me to listen to my boyfriend. They thought it would be difficult for me to find such a good man. But I feel like if I listen to my boyfriend, I'm going to give up on my dream. My boyfriend also said that if you don't listen to him, we'll break up as soon as we graduate next year. I don't want to break up, we have feelings, but I don't want to give up my career plan for him either. So, Anchor, I want to ask, should I go abroad with him next year? You are really a fan of the authorities, do you still need to ask? Your boyfriend wants you to go abroad with him and doesn't let you study together. Isn't he just trying to find a free nanny? That is, the first 2 years after graduation are such precious 2 years. If it were me, I would not be willing to sacrifice 2 years just to study with a man. That's right, don't listen to him. You like him, but he keeps plotting against you. If you don't serve him, he will threaten you to break up. This is not a boyfriend, he is a free nanny. Why don't you go to his factory and not be angry? I am suffering from it now. If you really join his factory, your future salary will definitely not be paid to you on time. Wait for you to work for his family for free for a few years, or how many years? 10 years later, I wanted to get divorced, but I didn't have any savings, and I didn't have the confidence to leave. Yes, even if you work for his factory, when he is angry, he will say that you eat his food, drink his food, and rely on him to support you. Lushuishan was shocked when he saw all the comments. No way, I feel like he is a very simple person. He shouldn't have so many scheming ideas, right? Alas, the love brain is so terrible. That is, don't be reluctant to part with his second-generation rich status. After all, it is his money, and women still have to learn their own skills. What you said above is right, don't give up your career for anyone, not even your own children. Without money, it's hard to make a living in this world. Anyone can manipulate you when you get old, even your children will despise you. You are useless, you rely on his father to support you. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 267. Chiaoning Suan, those water friends are right, you must never give up your plans for a man. According to my calculations, if you follow your boyfriend abroad, you will regret it on the first day. After all, it's a place you're not familiar with and you want to come back every day. But all your documents have been taken away by your boyfriend, and he has even found someone to keep an eye on you. You are in a foreign country and it is difficult to move around. He will break up with you on the first day you return to the country. And you, just like what the water friends said before, you have missed the most precious 2 years, and you will have a lot of trouble finding a job. By that time, all your classmates will have been promoted and their salaries have been increased, and you have lost your status as a fresh graduate. Many good jobs don't want you, and you are rushing to various job fairs every day. It's hard to find a job, but the boss is 1 or 2 years younger than you. How miserable. What the anchor said is possible. I will probably go crazy if I look at the expressions of leaders younger than me every day. Yeah, so this young lady, you have to be careful. Don't he feel bad that he has no one to take care of him? How could a rich second generation have no money to hire a nanny? That is, if you feel sorry for a man, you will be unlucky for the rest of your life. Lushuishan was surprised and said, will he break up with me? Qiaoning soon, of course, then I will be more careful. He is dating two people at the same time. If you don't listen to him, he will find another one to study abroad with him. They are all women anyway, who will take care of them, he's all the same. What? Lu Shuitian looked in disbelief, he is still dating other people. Qiaoningsun asked her to wait for a moment, and then sent a link to her, go and take a look. See if the man in it is your boyfriend. Lu Shuitian went in anxiously. After looking at it for a long time, he looked at the time on the monitor and suddenly started to giggle. The man in the video is indeed her boyfriend, and she also knows the woman, who is her best friend. Two people were walking on the road, and suddenly they started kissing in public, like beasts in heat. Her boyfriend also touched her best friend. It wasn't until they were scolded by the old man who couldn't bear it that the two of them left angrily. But the hand tightened. Green Waterfield, you have seen the evidence, believe the anchor's prediction. Yes, the anchor will not harm you. Never be stubborn. Qiaoning Suan, Lushuishan, if you break up with your boyfriend, you will live a better life in the future, and you will also meet your true love. Although that person is still in the entrepreneurial stage, his net worth has caught up. It won't be more than 5 years before you have a boyfriend. Lushuishan was stunned, do you know who it is? Qiaoning Suan, that person is by your side, but you think he is naive, like a child, and you have never taken his confession seriously, but in fact, he is your true destiny. If you didn't when you meet me, your time with him will be delayed by 20 years. LV Shuitian hesitated for a moment and said with a smile, thank you anchor, I will break up with my current boyfriend. After saying this, she wanted to cut off the connection. Just before she had time to press the button, she was live broadcasting in a quiet square. When she looked up, she saw two people walking not far away. Hearing their conversation, LV Shuitian was so angry that his body trembled. Okay, don't be angry. It's because you don't want to go abroad, so I can only let that person go. I always have to be taken care of by myself. Humph, it's not that I don't want to go, it's that my parents don't allow it. They are the only child and they really can't bear to leave me. But if that person really doesn't want to go, I can go with you secretly. I know, don't worry, my heart is always with you, I won't really fall in love with her. You said this in front of me, do you also say what she likes to hear in front of her? Don't be unreasonable, I really love you. Okay, I believe you for now. When Lushuishan saw them leaving, he didn't chase them and burst into tears. These are those two people. Looks like a scumbag man and a woman are really a match made in heaven. Green Paddy Field, don't be sad, there are many good men in the world, the worst is to find another one. Green Shuitian nodded, I understand, thank you all. Just as the green paddy fields were sowing, a man suddenly appeared in front of her. Lushuishan saw a police car on duty not far away and ran over quickly. She stopped when she was sure the police would notice her. Lai Chiu also ran over, feeling a little guilty, did you see everything just now? Green Shuitian, of course, I really didn't expect you to be such a scumbag. Now that you have me, you still want to find my best friend. Why do you want to find her? I have known her for more than 10 years. Lai Chiu explained anxiously, it's not what you think. I'm just playing with her. Aren't I going abroad soon? As long as you leave with me, then we will both be abroad and won't come back for several years, I won't talk to her anymore. Humph LV Shuitian sneered, do you think I will still believe you? Don't you just want me to be a free nanny for you? Do you think I'm stupid? If you want to study abroad, you go alone. If you want to find a nanny, you go find her. From today on, I will break up with you. Remember, I dumped you. After saying that, she turned around and left. Of course Lai Chiu was not willing to let her go like this. After all, he had already wasted a long time on her. Just as he was about to chase after him, he saw the police not far away staring straight at him. He didn't dare to do anything to Lu Shuishan. He could only watch her get into a taxi and leave. Qiaoning Xuan, continue, the 16th person who says the host's family is safe and well can be qualified to tell fortunes. Humaizan started posting barrages again. Soon, the second spot was grabbed by Ruofeng. Qiaoning Xuan, Ruofeng, please pay first. Ruofeng quickly does this and then applies for a connection. Soon, a young woman appeared in the live broadcast room. Qiaoning Xuan, Ruofeng, what do you want to do? Ruofeng, I want to be safe. I am going to travel with my husband tomorrow. I want to ask, can we come back safely from this trip? Qiaoning Xuan counted his fingers and frowned, are you traveling by car this time? After saying that, she cast an ignore spell on the live broadcast room to ensure that Ruofeng's husband and people related to his husband would not see the live broadcast. Ruofeng was stunned for a moment, then said with a look of surprise, Anchor, you are really amazing. You already knew before I even told you how we were going to travel. That's right, our anchors are the most powerful. Our anchors are like gods. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 268. You see, our anchors are invincible. Qiaoning Sun blushed at the praise, coughed slightly and said, let's get down to business, this trip with your husband is going to be either very bad or bad. It could range from being paralyzed for life to losing your life at worst. Ruofeng's face turned pale and he trembled, that means we shouldn't travel recently. Qiaoning Sun, of course not. You can travel with your parents, your brother, or your relatives, but just don't travel with your husband. As long as you go out with your husband, you will go out on the road. Car accident. Ruofeng was startled, really? Qiaoning Sun, of course it's true, and he bought you a huge amount of accident insurance. As long as something happens to you, he can get millions in compensation. It's normal to have a car accident on the road. Even if he murders intentionally, the insurance the company can't investigate it either. Let me go, is her husband so cruel? There are many people like this. There are also people who specially travel abroad and kill their wives abroad. When men become ruthless, nothing will happen without women. Usually it's for money. I guess her husband may like to gamble. Qiaoning Sun added, if you don't believe it, go and open his safe. Ruofeng, but I don't know the password. Qiaoning Sun, I'll send you a private message. I've already figured it out. Ruofeng waited for a while, received the password, and quickly opened the box. While Ruofeng was away, the water friends in the live broadcast room were shocked again. Anchor, can you even figure out other people's passwords? Then you also know my bank card password. Do you also know the password for your home combination lock? Do you also know the password to unlock my mobile phone? Do you know any passwords? Qiaoning Sun coughed slightly, don't worry, everyone, my energy is limited, and the number of people who can tell fortunes every day is limited. Only those who I tell fortunes seriously can I know their passwords. Now I just want to look at their account numbers. It's impossible to know all the passwords in his home. Even if it were possible, I would probably die from exhaustion. Everyone in the live broadcast room suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Makes sense. Anchor, why don't you go and file a record? I'm afraid that some people's money will be stolen and you will be slandered. Yeah, in the dolphin video, those who can climb walls and do darts, etc., seem to have to register. Chiao Ningxun smiled and said, "Thank you for your suggestion, I will consider it, but it is impossible to accuse me unjustly. I have enough alibi. As long as the person is not afraid of being framed by me, just come." Looking at her confident look, some cautious people immediately gave up. They don't want to risk their future. Soon, Ruofeng came back. Ruofeng looked at the insurance policy in front of him and said with tears in his eyes, "I didn't expect him to be so cruel. He bought insurance for me before, saying it was medical insurance. I believed him, so I didn't take a closer look. I thought it was an accident. If I died, he would make a fortune." Chiao Ningxuan, it's okay now. Everyone knows about your husband's conspiracy. If something happens to you, your husband will be the first to be suspected. Ruofeng suddenly said anxiously, "Anchor, what should I do now?" Chiao Ningxuan, your husband hasn't come back from working overtime tonight, right? Ruofeng nodded, "That's right." Chiao Ningxuan, when your husband bought the insurance, he was worried that if something happened to you, he would be suspected, so he wanted to wait until the insurance was about to expire before implementing his plan. There are still 5 days before the insurance expires. Time, so you should stay at your parents' house during this period. There are many people in your parents' house, and your husband is quite afraid of your brothers. You only need to stay at your parents' house for these 5 days, then wait for the insurance policy. Once it expires, you will be completely safe. Then you can divorce him. Divorce. Ruofeng thought that if her family knew that her husband was going to kill her, they would deliberately expose his flaws and send him to prison. After Ruofeng thought about it clearly, he said seriously, "Thank you, host, I will consider your proposal." She must divorce that scumbag within 5 days. Chiao Ningxun cut off the connection. The third quota, the 20th person who deducts the anchor's family and is safe, can get the fortune-telling qualification. Soon, the 20th person appeared. Chiao Ningxuan, congratulations to you as a young screenwriter. A little screenwriter, hello, host, I know your rules, wait a minute, I'll pay right away. Chiao Ningxuan, okay. Screenwriter. This person is a screenwriter. I went to his homepage to see it, and it seems that it is indeed a TV series written by him, and I actually watched it. Wow, I saw a living screenwriter. I understand what you said above, but why does it feel a little awkward? Haha, this is also the first time I have seen a screenwriter tell fortunes. After a small screenwriter paid the fee, Chiao Ningxun quickly connected. A young screenwriter saw those barrage and said with a smile, I am indeed a screenwriter, but I am not very famous. The scripts I write are basically web dramas. Chiao Ningxuan, hello, I am a young screenwriter. What do you want to do? A young screenwriter, anchor, I have been working as a screenwriter for more than 10 years. I just want to ask, in the past 2 years, do I still have a chance to become famous? Is it because I write well scripts and am famous for my plots? If I don't have the opportunity in the past 2 years, I will give up being a screenwriter. It's actually quite tiring to think about the plot every day. Indeed, I still hate writing essays. I could write an 800-word essay for the college entrance examination, but now I can't even write a 200-word review. I don't like composition either. I have failed in composition since I was a child. But writing a script is still different from writing an article. I still want to be a screenwriter. Is it really that difficult to get ahead? A young screenwriter, I find it quite difficult, but people with backgrounds say that I am an ordinary person, and I am really tired from working as a screenwriter for more than 10 years. Chiao Ningxun calculated, as a small screenwriter, within 2 years, you can have a chance to become famous. There will be a TV series to be broadcast next year. After it is broadcast, it will receive a strong response, and you will benefit from it. I didn't expect that this person was the screenwriter of the story of Nanjin. It's just that most people don't know. Suo Hongfeng is already considered a top-notch drama. If this drama is broadcast, it will probably become a top-notch drama. A young screenwriter, that's great. I'm relieved. I won't talk about it anymore. I suddenly got inspiration, so I'll broadcast it first. Xiaoning Sun, okay. End of chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 269. Chapter 269 Taking Orders. This person actually likes to be a screenwriter. Yes, I also saw it. He came to the anchor just to encourage him. I have read the one he has written, and it is quite good. Xiaoningsun said a few more words and quickly went off the air. On Friday afternoon, when the teacher announced that school was over, most of the students were eager to return home, and soon there were only a dozen or so people left in the classroom. Xiaoningsun sat in his seat and looked at the remaining people. Dear students, I have started to take orders. There are only 3 of you. Come and draw lots. Those who are drawn can be treated today. Those who are not drawn can still be treated. Please understand, we can only wait until next time. More than a dozen people saw the lottery bucket on Xiaoningsun's table and quickly stepped forward to draw lots. Soon, the person who will treat the disease today will be selected. Xiaoningsun said to the others, everyone, please come again next time. Others were very disappointed, but they had no choice but to go home quickly as they did not dare to offend Xiaoningsun. The first person to come to Xiaoningsun was Li Yamei. Li Yamei had Xiaoningsun's WeChat account, so she sent it 3,000 times. Xiaoningsun asked her to sit down at He Yuanhua's seat and asked, your skin is very good. It shouldn't be about your skin. What do you want to see? It's so refreshing. As expected, many children in key high schools are not short of money. Li Yamei felt a little embarrassed when she saw that He Yuanhui was still in the classroom. He Yuanhui touched his nose and left the classroom for the time being. Li Yamei confirmed that there were only female students in the classroom, and then she spoke, I'm not looking at the skin, I want to ask you, can you treat dysmenorrhea? The eyes of the other 2 female classmates next to them suddenly lit up. Although they have pimples on their faces, they only pop up occasionally. Perhaps dysmenorrhea is more tormenting them. Xiaoningsun glanced at Li Yamei's complexion and said, stretch out your hand. Li Yamei obeyed the instructions. Xiaoningsun took his pulse carefully. After a while, Xiaoningsun took back his hand and said, there are 2 treatment methods. One is to take medicine, but I have to wait until next Sunday for my evening study to get the medicine. Because I have to take medicine, the price is more expensive and the effect is slower. The second is that I give you acupuncture, the effect is better, the price is lower, and it works in one go. Li Yamei thought that she would have her period in 3 days. Even though she was afraid of the pain, she decided to get an acupuncture. Please give me the acupuncture. Xiaoningsun, okay, acupuncture is cheaper. You can just transfer another 1,000 to me. Li Yamei nodded and quickly transferred the money. Xiaoningsun immediately prepared acupuncture needles and began to inject Li Yamei's acupuncture needles. Just getting acupuncture is definitely not enough, she must also inject spiritual power into her body, and use magic formulas to control temperature to eliminate the cause of their dysmenorrhea. While Li Yamei was injecting acupuncture, Xiaoningsun continued to treat the second person. Jia Hongying finished the transfer, sat down and said, Ningsun, I also want to treat dysmenorrhea. That's easy, I'll take your pulse first. Okay. Jia Hongying stretched out her hand. After a while, Jiao Ningxun said, the cause of the disease is the same as Li Yame's. Do you choose to take medicine or acupuncture? Jia Hongying, of course it's acupuncture. I vomit as soon as I take Chinese medicine. I'm not afraid of pain. Good. After a while, Jia Hongying was also stabbed with a needle. Jiao Ningxun asked the last classmate to sit down. Qi Lulan, what do you want to treat? Qi Lulan glanced at her body with inferiority. Jiao Ningxun, you have also seen that I am fat. But it is not because of gluttony, but because I was sick when I was a child and took too many hormone-containing drugs, so I don't care no matter how much I lose weight, I can't lose weight. I want to ask you, can I still lose weight? Because of my illness, I am 2 years older than the average person when I go to school. Now I am 18, but my weight has also reached 170 pounds, and can't wear many beautiful clothes. Jiao Ningxun, let me check your pulse. Qi Lulan stretched out his hand. 3 minutes later, Jiao Ningxun withdrew his hand, put the pulse pillow back into his skull bag, and said seriously, actually, one of the reasons why you can't lose weight is not just because you were sick and took too many hormone pills, but one of them is because you like it too much fatty meat, right? You have to eat at least half a pound of fat meat at every meal, right? Qi Lulan was surprised, you even know this. Jiao Ningxun, the few times I went to the cafeteria to eat, I saw you going to the stir-fry window every time. You ordered braised pork and asked others to increase the amount for you. Qi Lulan's face turned red and she said with a sneer, yes, but my parents said that I often get sick and I must eat some meat, otherwise my body won't be able to bear it. There is also some lean meat in the braised pork. Jiao Ningxun, if you want to lose weight, you must listen to me completely. Qi Lulan saw that she had hope of losing weight, and nodded like garlic, I listen to you, and I will listen to you in everything. Jiao Ningxun, the first thing is that you should give up fat meat for me. From now on I can only eat chicken and beef, and the amount must be strictly controlled. Qi Lulan looked desperate. Li Yamei and Lu Hongying covered their mouths and snickered. Jiao Ningxun continued, I will give you acupuncture today, just once. Qi Lulan nodded, okay. It's just that your disease is more complicated and the price is higher. Qi Lulan suddenly took out a wad of cash from her bag and said, it's okay. My dad gives me 10,000 pocket money every day. I have enough money. Another rich second generation. Jiao Ningxun agreed on a price, took the money, and gave Qi Lulan another injection. By the time she finished her work, it was almost 6 o'clock. He Yuanhui has gone to the next classroom to do his homework for a long time. Back at Jiao's fresh food, the three of them didn't want to go home and continue cooking hard, so they went to the restaurant and had dinner first. At the same time, Jiao Ningxun also called home and asked her grandparents to eat whatever they wanted first, and they would pack delicious food back for them. Zhang Fuxian, Ren Quanshan, and Zhang Zayadai also followed. The three of them were very excited. They had already eaten at Jiao's fresh food for noon, but they didn't expect that there would still be something left for dinner. In this way, their family can save some living expenses. After dinner, Zhang Fuxian, Ren Quanshan, and Zhang Zayadai drove 3 cars to Deguo village at the same time. From Monday to Wednesday, the three of them have taken turns to rest for 2 days each. From Thursday to Sunday, the three of them have to work and all have to go back to Deguo village. In order to facilitate their accommodation, Jiao Ningxun consulted his fourth uncle Jiao Jianruo's opinion and rented his house in Deguo village. He briefly decorated it for Zhang Fuxian and Ren Quanshan to move in. As for Zhang Zayadai, although she has not married in her 30s due to some reasons. But she was a woman after all, so she was allowed to live in the guest room on the first floor of Lao Jiao's house. The current men in Lao Jiao's family are old and young. She won't let anyone gossip when she stays here, and she doesn't have any problem with them. After a long time, The three cars returned home together and parked in front of Lao Chiao's house. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 270. Including the trucks that had already arrived home, there were 4 cars parked at the door. When they were driving back a few days ago, someone was curious whether Lao Chiao's family had bought 3 more cars. But most of them were old people, so they didn't recognize the labels of the 3 cars, and thought they were priced the same as trucks. On Friday afternoon, there were many young people in the village, and they were all shocked when they saw the 3 cars passing by. A young man saw Xiao Shulan getting out of the car and came up to say hello. "Aunt Xiao, do these 3 cars all belong to your family?" Xiao Shulan nodded calmly, "Yes, I bought it a few days ago." The young man walked around the 3 cars several times and said with admiration, "These are all good cars. Aunt Xiao, your family has made a fortune, right?" Xiao Shulan said, "It's just that I made some money from doing business." The young man said, "It seems that your family is lucky, but the Zhang family is not." Young people only know that Lao Chiao's family has taken over the land previously contracted by Zhang Fugui, and the business is not bad. Xiao Shulan, maybe. The young man asked again, "Aunt Xiao, is it really so profitable to grow vegetables and fruit trees on this contracted land? If he really made money, he would want to go home and farm." The young man in front of her was the one who donated money to He Yuan Yang for medical treatment. Xiao Shulan didn't want him to lose money. After all, he didn't have her daughter's mysterious ability. "I say this not because I am afraid that you will steal my market, but because farming really depends on luck. You have to be willing to invest, you have to be willing to wait, and you have to take huge risks. Just like before, the fruit trees almost all after being burned, all the hundreds of thousands we were able to buy were almost wasted because we got some money in other ways." The young man suddenly understood and said with a smile, "Okay, Aunt Xiao, I will think about it carefully." He just said, how could he make so much money from farming in just a few months? Possible. When Xiao Shulan returned home, the children had heated up the packed food and put it on the table for the elders. Now that the family is rich, even if Xiao Kongsheng and Ye Kaixiang see the delicacies they brought back, they will not say it is a waste, which will spoil the interest of the young people. I talk to the old people in the village every day. They know very well that if you want to have good food in the future, you have to talk less and eat more, so that you can eat more in the future. So the second elder ate it happily, and complimented the taste from time to time, making the younger one happy. Zhang Fushan, Ren Quanshan, and Xiao Ningxun greeted each other and returned to Xiao Jianru's house to rest. Xiao Ningxun asked Zhang Zayadai to wash up quickly to avoid getting up early tomorrow. An hour later, almost everyone had washed up and was about to go back to the house to rest, when there was a knock on the courtyard door. Xiao Kongsheng opened the door and saw the person coming. He frowned and said, "What are you doing here so late?" The visitors were none other than Lu Hehua and Xiao Jianmo, Ye Yunting and Xiao Jianzhou, Lu Yuero and Xiao Jianyuo. The 3 unfilial sons and unfilial daughter-in-law of Lao Chiao's family. Ye Kaixiang walked to the door and said in a strange tone, "It's not the right time to celebrate the new year. The 3 of you families actually appeared at the same time. Will the sun rise in the west tomorrow?" Xiao Jianmo smiled awkwardly and glared at his wife. He had been unable to tell her for a long time, but the 3 sisters-in-law wanted them to come over. "Mom, won't you let us go in and sit for a while?" Ye Kaixiang said, "If you have something to say, just say it. You see, we have all changed into pajamas. We still have to rest. If it takes a long time, we will come back during the day tomorrow." Xiao Jianzhou felt a little hurt in his heart. "Mom, we are your biological sons after all. You are too indifferent to us." Ye Kaixiang said, "Do you feel heartache too? You 3 were all born to me. You listen to your wife and don't care about me and your father's life or death. Do you know that we are also heartbroken? And it's 3 times more painful. Xiao Jianzhou choked, Mom, what happened in the past is in the past. Aren't you living a good life now? It's much better than us. The 3 of us brothers are still in debt. Lu Hehua was holding his cane. Seeing that their brothers were wandering around without getting to the point, he glanced at Ye Yunting. Ye Yunting had no choice but to speak first. Mom, we came here to ask, do the 3 new cars at the door belong to your family? Ye Kaixiang snorted, so what? Ye Yunting said, those 3 cars are very expensive. They should cost several million in total, right? Xiao Ningxun came over and said, yes, so what? Lu Hehua knew that this car must be related to Xiao Ningxun, so she said with a smile, Ningxun, we are all one family. Now that your family is rich, you should help your uncles. Your 3 uncles are now at the same time I'm unemployed. I was thinking that since you have 3 more cars in your family, you must have 3 more drivers. It's better to let outsiders drive them than let your uncles drive them. This way, if something happens at home in the future, they can drive Xiao Ningxun's luxury car out to show off. Xiao Jianmo said with a bitter face, Dad, Mom, Ningxun, I don't know why, but the company of the 3 of us stopped using us at the same time, and the 3 of us lost our jobs at the same time. Xiao Jianzhou said, we have been at home for a few days and asked people to find jobs, but there is no news. Xiao Jianyu said, Dad, Mom, you know, we haven't read many books. It's hard to find a good job. To find it, you have to rely on connections. We don't have the ability, and we can't bear to spend that money. Xiao Ningxun raised his eyebrows. What these 3 people said were all true. It's just that she had used her bad luck charm on Lu Hehua before. Could it be said that the person who was used the bad luck charm, the person who often hangs with her, will also be affected, so the 3 of them will be unlucky together? Yes, that must be the case. Qiao Kongsheng said, there are plenty of jobs in the city, it all depends on whether you are tired or not. The driver of Ningxun's car has been hired and the contract has been signed. She will not fire others at will. Xiao Ningxun raised her eyebrows and said, Grandpa is right. Lu Hehua curled her lips, Ningxun is already so rich. A little bit of it from between his fingernails is enough for our 3 families to eat and drink. We can't drive, so why don't we just go to work in the fields? Go to the fields. It is estimated that the vegetables and fruits of the 3 of them will be taken care of by Lao Qiao's family in the future. Xiao Ningxun, since you are so shameless, I will not save face for you. Uncle, your family's current savings are still hundreds of thousands. Even if you can find a job in 2 years, you will not starve to death, and neither will your children. There is something to learn. Second uncle, don't cry about being poor. Your family has a savings of 200,000, and you have invested in an internet cafe with a friend. Although the business is not very good now, you can get at least 2,000 each month. End of chapter.